Hello folks, this is William Bailey with Bill's Historical West. This will be episode 1 of 2 episodes, and a little exploration of modern and vintage motocross racing. You might wonder how I attached that to a Western history channel, but in the 1970s, dirt bike racing exploded in Western California, and it's been over 50 years since that happened. And there's an organization out here of people who absolutely love these old dirt bikes, restore them, race them. And I've come to a race meet this weekend, and I'm going to walk around in part 1 here, and I'm going to show you some of this vintage machinery. It's sort of like walking through a museum where everything still works. The machines are vintage, and some of the people who own and race them are also vintage. I did come to race today. I'm going to show you my race bike, and I'm a little bit older than the bike, but they have classes for us old guys to race our old machinery. And I had an interesting day. I had things break on my bike. I definitely had my tools out, and I was practicing something that was written in magazines in the 1970s called the two-stroke prayer. And that's when you're kneeled beside your bike trying to figure out why it won't work. I had a couple episodes of that today, but it didn't ruin my fun. Camaraderie at these events is just stellar. So now I'll take a walk and I'll show you some of the vintage machinery that's in the pits here. This is my own personal race bike. It's a piece of communist iron from 1972. It's a Czechoslovakian-made CZ400. It is extremely crude, like you'd expect a communist army tank. It's essentially a large engine with wheels on it. And it didn't serve me so well today, so back to the drawing board on some of it. So we'll walk around here, and you can see all of these motorcycles and camping rigs. People come out on this beautiful day at Lakewood, Colorado. The Vintage Club here has been in existence for quite a few years, and they're trying to keep themselves alive. You will also see modern motorcycles in the pits here, and they run support classes for people to ride their modern bikes to help support the vintage movement, to keep the vintage bikes alive. Some of the very first bikes that were raced in America were street machines that were converted for desert use or to be raced on motocross tracks. And these are some of those bikes that I'm showing you now. You'll notice the large 4-stroke engines. They're from different makers like BSA, Yamaha, Harley Davidson, a couple British engines, Norton, other things that I'm not terribly familiar with. Probably a Triumph in here somewhere, BSA. So there's a whole bunch of these guys in the club that just love these old 4-stroke British bikes, and they race them. I kind of consider it tractor racing because they sound like tractors when they're on the track. Here's one that's interesting. This is a Harley Davidson Sportster engine, and this is a motocrosser. So from this, in the beginning of American motocross, came 2-strokes. In the 1970s, there were a number of companies trying to compete for the market to sell motorcycles. There were many motorcycle companies producing machines for kids to ride, for racers. It was just a huge thing. I grew up reading Dirt Bike magazine. I had a dirt bike and couldn't afford to have all the cool things, the cool bikes. So I had a Yamaha DT1, and I rode it everywhere. hunting arrowheads, checking my trap lines, sometimes to go out and bring the sheep in, all of that kind of thing. It was a utility bike. Friends at school had cool race bikes. I did not so much, but I've enjoyed my high school reunions in these years after, because all the cool kids in their cool bikes. I'm the kid that wore boots and a cowboy hat to school that ended up being the real motocrosser, and I've raced outdoor motocross for 17 years. I laid off a little before COVID, and now I'm trying to revisit that. It's very much like rodeo in that you work hard all week, put your stuff in the truck, go to a venue that's hot, dusty, cold, windy, snowing, frozen, or raining, and you compete anyway. Here's a nice vintage motorcycle. It is a Honda Elsinore, a 1978 model. These bikes really were a revolution. Vintage bikes have about 4 inches of rear suspension. This bike is what they call a post-vintage bike, and it has much more rear suspension, longer suspension travel. The classes in racing, vintage bikes, are all based on the rear suspension travel of the bikes.
Did you see Mark? Oh, you were in front of him.
This bike we're just looking at with the men standing there is a Yamaha monoshock. I thought in the day when they developed a monoshock that dirt motorcycles could never be improved on. I mean, it was like a spaceship, and pretty crude technology compared to today. But you can see on down the line here all of the people that came to the event. I'll show you up on the hillside. You can see the racetrack. They run 14 classes of bikes today. A couple modern classes, and then the rest of the classes were a mix of vintage, post-vintage bikes. They had 100 entrants today out here in the beautiful sunshine. So this is sort of an introduction to it. It's an American thing. It's endangered, like a lot of the things that we do in the West. You know, ranchers know plenty about their industry being endangered. Motocross is we're losing our tracks left and right. This one is owned by a city government. Is probably the only reason that it still exists. A motocross track will be way out in the country, and the farmer around it will sell out, and a developer will buy next to it or on it and build houses, and people don't want to hear a motorcycle or have the dust, so the tracks get shut down. And so there's a big fight on to keep motorcycling alive, particularly close course racing. Because it is noisy, it is dusty. Again, a lot like rodeo. I think that's why I love it so much. This is a 1994 Honda CR 250. Exquisite machine in its day. A beautiful YZ 1993 or 94 YZ 250. 2-stroke. AMA Motocross has replaced the 2-stroke in racing with 4-stroke engines for pollution control and those kind of issues. You can see riders coming off the track at the end of their moto. But in Europe, they still race 2 strokes. Believe it or not, they have huge race meets where they only race 2 strokes. Really fast ones. It seems that kids race a lot of the 2 strokes up there. And if you can ever tune into some of that to see it, it's really amazing how fast people go on motorcycles. There will be an AMA event here next weekend where the fastest people on planet Earth will be here right behind this starting gate that we use today. This is a typical starting gate at the track. It's a backward falling gate. You pull up to it. When it drops, you can go over it to begin your race. You see a typical lineup of vintage bikes here on the line. Guys are getting ready for their moto. Suzuki's, Hondas.
Well, I just watered it for us.
Oh, and a nice green Kawasaki, about a 1999. The club has a class for any bike that you would want to bring, because it's about participation. It's a big family thing. Sometimes husband, wife, and all the kids all race. You can hear the excitement here. These people are lining up to come onto the starting gate for their moto. These are modern bikes, so you will see state-of-the-art Hondas, Yamahas, KTM, and a whole bunch of these. A lot of these are young guys that don't really want to race, and the normal modern organizations because of the danger of the tracks, and so they can come out here and race on a friendly racetrack that doesn't have huge jumps that'll, you know, kill you if you come up short on them. So motocross is really about going fast anyway, and these kids want to go fast. You can hear the bikes rolling around me going onto the line. So there's kind of a walk around of this awesome sport that started going hard in Western California and it's become nationwide. There are other genres of racing, cross-country racing, flat track racing, desert racing, but my favorite's always been outdoor motocross. So this will be for chapter 1. Hope you enjoyed the walk around. Not a special production, but something for you to see. And stay tuned for part 2. Some of the information might be the same, some of it might be a little different. But I want you to hang in there with me and enjoy my little productions. No editing, I just am real and go shoot stuff. So now I'm back to my pit, my fancy pit, my 99 truck, and there's my baby again that's now going to probably require, you know, endless hours of work to solve its issues. Anyhow, that's part of the game, it's part of the deal. You can't win them all. Individual sport is so awesome in that it teaches a person how to be a gracious loser. I know you as my audience, you're not losers because you love our history. So tune in to more episodes. I don't know when I'll do bikes again, but I had an opportunity, so I definitely wanted to take it. So please subscribe and like and follow my channel, Bill's Historical West, and I'll see you down the trail. Thank you.